Hi, this is Jenna.
And this is Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked.
And today we're going to be discussing the Pacific Ocean.
All of it?
Most of it.
Every living animal in it?
Depends on what you define as an animal.
Let's find out.
Have you heard of a USO?
No.
Have you heard of a UFO?
Well, obviously. We're a fucking conspiracy show, Heather.
So,
what's a USO?
A USO?
An unidentified space object? I don't know why. It took me so long for object.
You look like you were having more trouble on space.
I was like having an aneurysm. I think my eye twitched.
Oh my gosh, you know what is so funny?
Huh.
My eye has been twitching.
It's probably the stress of these conditions.
No, I woke up in the middle of the night, like 2 nights ago, and underneath right here on my right eye, it felt like there was like a spider or something, and I like freaked out and I like wiped it and I was like, something's crawling on me, and then there was something there and I looked in the mirror and it was just my eye going like it wouldn't stop.
That's funny.
It was happening this morning too, so I don't know, something's going on with my eyeball.
Oh, I hope you survive.
I do too.
I hope it's not a twitch of death.
It's a twitch of probably looking at the computer screen too long while researching.
That's true.
Like, I need to like look away every 15 minutes or whatever they say. But you're close with the USO because we're talking about the ocean. Instead of the word space, it's submerged.
Ooh.
So it's an unidentified submerged object.
As opposed to flying.
Yes. So this could be
Or it could be an unidentified swimming object.
It could be.
That's my swimming sound. I don't know. That doesn't sound very swimming. It should be bloop, 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 bloop. No, that's a fish.
That sounds like drowning.
I don't know. What would swimming? Blop, 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 blop.
Swimming, I didn't know we were going to have to be versed in sound effects.
Our soundboard isn't working. We have to be creative.
Swimming, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's what I got.
That sounds good to me.
If you guys could see me, I'm pretending I'm swimming in the ocean.
She's like...
I'm like doing laps with my arms.
She's like doing like the dog paddle
and then I'm like the frog one.
No, I think it's a breaststroke.
Breaststroke, yeah.
Or no, that is the frog.
I don't know.
That's the frog.
Breaststroke.
But she's not moving her legs, so she's not going to get very far.
You're supposed to move your legs when you swim?
If you want to get anywhere.
Oh my God, I've been doing everything wrong. I just kind of go and let it just take me wherever it goes. I'm not a good swimmer.
You know what? I'm really good at doing like swimming where you swim on your back. You do like a zip T pull.
So when I swim on my back, I just like lounge.
Yeah, you float and then you do the
preferably
zip T pull.
No, preferably with a floaty under me and a drink next to me. That's how I like to be on my back in a body of water. All right, go on. Let's hear about the USOs.
So the USOs, there's actually a very long history of USOs being witnessed under, above, or near bodies of water.
If it was above, then wouldn't that be a UFO?
Well, the reason why it's not is because USOs are defined as an unknown craft that are sighted in the water, sighted rising out of the water, or diving into lakes and oceans.
Okay. Bye.
So basically, if it is...
You did do your research, because usually these questions trip you up. You're like, I'm ready for Jenna's fucked up question.
No, it's not a fucked up question, because I actually have the same question in my mind, and that's why I answered it, because I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But it's something that is like, it's submergible, or submersive.
I get it. It's in water.
Yeah, it's in water. It can be in water. So these type of unknown phenomenons are rarer than the traditional airborne UFO sightings. Usually because while we're stargazing, watching the clouds float by, driving in our cars or whatnot, it's much easier for the general population to spot a UFO in the sky because we live on the land and there's sky all around us. So you're going to see it more. And then also you have to think that people who is going to see it unless you live in a coastal area or by a lake.
Yeah.
You know, if you live in like middle America, there's lakes, but like if you live in an area that's doesn't have a lot of body of water, you're not going to see going to see a USO because there's no water around you. So, you know, that is why they are considered more rare. But then we get into, actually, have you seen a USO?
My God, no. Have you?
I cannot say that I have, no.
Okay.
Other than like on like a YouTube clip or like on social media or something where it's when I've researched this, basically. Now I can say that I have.
No. Well, on Lilo and Stitch lands in the ocean at one point.
But is his craft able to swim around, not swim, but...
I don't remember.
Navigate the ocean?
I don't remember. It wasn't one of my favorite movies.
I don't remember either. Probably because Stitch was so fucking annoying.
Yeah, he was.
Definitely. I'm glad we both agree on that. So, one way that USOs became extremely known and popular is U.S. Navy personnel. They have, in fact, reported unexplained sightings of lights in the sea, under the water, shooting out of the water, and shooting into the water. The strange encounters have sparked interest of people around the world. As we all know, our world is 71% water versus 29% landmass. And we have only explored and mapped out 5% of the sea floor. Much of it is uncharted, unexplored, and all of the oceans on the planet contain 97 of the planet's total water. So salt water is 97%.
Wow.
So that kind of puts in perspective of what could be in the water.
Nobody really knows, and I know that we're going to talk about this later, a few theories on what is in the water. Like, I know that I'm going to go over some of the things down there, but everything is super plausible within the water, especially within the water. I mean, things that are on land, they're still finding new things on land all the time, new species and new whatever. But like, in terms of the water, we know more about the moon than we do the water.
That's true. That's a fact. Yeah, and it's basically because the current level of our technological advances from mapping the seafloor is just limited, and the only reason why it's limited is because there's water in the way of reaching the seafloor, and the water means pressure, and at sea level, the air that surrounds us presses down on our bodies at 14.7 pounds per square inch. But we don't feel that pressure because... That's
gravity, right? Just gravity?
Because the fluids in our body are pushing out with the same force. So because it's... Yeah. So
that's like some science shit.
Yeah. So because it's like a balance, we don't feel the pressure from our atmosphere. Because we have our own atmospheric pressure, you know, that...
I'm feeling the pressure now.
Yeah.
I can feel it. I can feel the liquid trying to leave my body.
14.7 pounds.
Just trying to rip through my
inch.
My square.
Every little square inch.
That's so crazy. I can feel it pushing out now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When people get bloated, maybe they're at 15%. I mean, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. That's so crazy.
Yeah. So it says that, my research.
It says, she's reading her paper.
I'm reading my paper.
It says, the thing that I typed like yesterday says.
You don't feel it because it's pressing out, but once a human dives a few feet, we feel the changes in our body. One being an increase of pressure in our eardrums. Think about if you go in a pool.
Or same with whenever you go up. In a plane, in a mountain, going up over mountains and stuff. It's the same thing.
It's all the pressure.
Because the pressure is different. And that's why on the back of cupcakes and shit, it says if you're cooking in the mountains, then you need to cook it at a lower or higher degree or something. I'm sure it has something to do with that. Have you ever noticed that?
I've never
on the
noticed
back
that.
of Betty Crocker shit and like Betty Crocker cupcakes and shit.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it'll actually say somewhere on the bottom, if you're above this altitude, cook it like this way instead.
Wow, that's really interesting. Like, I was just thinking about like water, and I didn't even think about like when you go up in the mountains, but that is very true. Or you go down mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, well, yeah, because the ocean is
or
just
an
a
airplane,
bunch of...
an airplane,
the ocean
anything.
is just a bunch of mountains. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
But, oh my goodness, did you know that, I just read this somewhere, somebody, I forget what scientist, the scientist that did a lot of time, I don't know if that's Einstein that did that or whatever. Anyway, some scientists found that if you had two identical twins and one lived up at a mountaintop, like 1,400 feet above sea level or whatever, like whatever.
Yeah.
And the other one lived down below like we are.
Yeah.
And they didn't see each other and they stayed there for 100 years. The one that is closer to the ground, the twin like at sea level, would age quicker than the one up here.
Oh.
And it would barely be noticeable, but it would be noticeable. And that's why whenever, like, there's space movies and, like, they leave, they don't age when they come back because it's something to do with, like, the space-time.
The pressure and the time.
Yeah.
I was thinking that you were going to say that the one that lived closer to sea level was going to be taller than the one that lived up in the mountains. It would be, like,
they didn't say anything about that.
Or something.
They didn't say anything about that.
Like, the pressure would push down on them more so they don't get tall. I don't know. That's where my brain was going. I was like, is the one going to be really tiny?
Oh, my gosh. No, I don't know. That's crazy. Okay.
So, well, that's very interesting. I never knew that, so thank you for that. But going back to, like, the eardrums, the reason why this happens with our eardrums is because of a hydrostatic pressure, which means the level of force per unit area by a liquid on an object. So basically, the deeper you go into the sea, the greater pressure of water pressing down on your body. A fact is that for every 33 feet you dive, the pressure increases by 1 entire atmosphere. So for every 33 feet, you get another atmosphere pressure. So the ocean pressure tends to range between 3,000 psi all the way to 15,750 psi, depending on where you go in the ocean. And obviously, the almost 16,000 psi is going to be like in the deepest part that we know now. I mean, there could be deeper areas that we don't know because we haven't mapped it all out, but from where we are. So the strength of the ocean's water can like crush you in a second. Like if a diver can only safely dive 130 feet in full gear, and without gear, which is like a snorkel or just like whatever, would be 20 to 40 feet, but that's only depending on your experience level. So the reason why we have not mapped out the ocean is because we can't get to anything in the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, it's very difficult.
Like, I was going to say, I wonder if they could send, like, probes or something down there, like robotic things, but even that, the pressure would fuck up the robot stuff. Just like going to space and stuff, like the pressurization and all that. I mean, if they can go to space, I can't believe that they can't figure out how to get.
But it's a completely different science in space. The way that the space works and the way that it's completely different than the ocean. The ocean has its own set of rules, and the way that the pressure relates to our man-made objects and our human bodies. There's only so much we can do. But like you said, what about submersible objects like submarines, for example?
Yeah.
So submarines are primarily nuclear power now in all large submarines. That's how they're powered. But due to the high cost and the large size of nuclear reactors, even on smaller submarines, they can use diesel electric propulsion, but it's very costly. So you want to send a submarine down to map it out. I mean, yeah, I know we spend billions of dollars on all kinds of stuff that probably shouldn't spend money on. That's a whole nother thing. But to have to use like nuclear power and then everything, it's very costly. So the U.S. Navy has a class of submarines called the Los Angeles class. These submarines are the submarines that can dive the deepest in the world. So all over the world, if you want to try to map the Earth, not the Earth, but this Earth sea, you have to use, as of now, our technology, the U.S. Navy's Los Angeles class submarine. And even that can only go 3,000 feet.
That's pretty far, though, as opposed to 130.
It's not even 1 mile.
3,000 feet?
Is only 0.57 miles. Because I looked it up. I was like,
no, you're right. Because you know what? I'm thinking about Brad's tattoo, and it's a quarter mile is 1320. So a 1320 is 26. Yeah, that would be half a mile.
So it's not really that deep. Considering that, we don't even know how deep it goes. We know it goes deeper than that. So, I mean, I also did see a little conflicting information that they could, the Los Angeles class submarines could probably go deeper.
So wait, this can only go 130 feet? That's not even an eighth fucking mile, barely. Sorry.
Wait, where are you at?
Right here, 130
that's
feet
how
before
far a diver
could go. That's it?
Yeah,
that's like how far. That's how far I walk out to back Brad up in the car.
Yeah, that's just safely with full gear, diving around. So that's why people dive like coral reefs, where it's like not like you can only go so far in full gear.
My God. Okay, go on. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just like trying to visualize. I'm like 130 feet. That's like next door. Like that's our house to Nana's house.
Yeah, you cannot go very far in the ocean.
Oh my gosh.
So the other side of it is that with the 3,000 feet, it could be a little bit more, but it's highly classified, and that's all they'll tell us that they can travel. So it's people speculate like they can go much farther, but then other people say like no, the technology is not there, and I don't know. So that's up for debate. But now this is with the submarines, okay? Now, however, there's always private everything, right? Private explorations have gone farther due to the difference in the shape of their craft.
So why doesn't the military do that?
Well, this is what we're getting at. So it all goes together. So submarines are like, what are they shaped like? Like a rectangle, like an oval. Like an oval.
A cylinder.
Yeah, like a cylinder, right?
A sideways cylinder.
And they have large crews.
Like a hot dog.
They have large crews. They're heavy. It's nuclear power. It's expensive. There's all these like red flag. We can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it. Right?
Yeah.
But then you got the private people. They're like, we got this.
And then what they do is they take 3 people in a little ball.
Oh, exactly. They go 2, 3 max. Usually it's 2.
Yeah.
And a sphere.
Yeah.
And they can go farther. So they can travel and explore about 2 miles.
Wow.
2.37 miles beneath the Earth's sea level. And the sphere can withstand more pressure due to the shape, because submarines, like we said, are more like a hot dog, and they have larger crews. They cannot withstand the pressure. So the sphere, it's kind of like, I don't know, you say like aerodynamic, it's not aerodynamic,
it's the opposite,
but it's like,
because it doesn't need to be aerodynamic.
I know, but I'm just trying to think of like a car how it goes over.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the water pressure, just kind of like, I don't know how it works, honestly. It's just, it goes around it. And they can't stay down there very long. Mm-hmm. And they have limited visibility, because they might have a window that's like this, like tiny, with a camera and one little arm thing to try to get samples or whatever.
Cool, but they're getting down there. So the deepest part of the ocean that we know right now is located in the Pacific Ocean, and it's called the Mariana Trench. It's located near the island of the nation of Guam. And it is the deepest known point, and they named it the Challenger Deep. It's almost 7 miles below sea level. Wow. So that's what we know of right now is the deepest part is 7 miles. There could be other areas that are much deeper. There could be caves and caverns, and like obviously we know there are. Yeah, there has to be.
There is. Okay, but we don't know how.
If the same.
We don't know.
If the terrain on land, it's the same as the ocean, which I've always known it to be, like mountains and stuff and valleys are in the ocean, just like they are here.
Yeah.
How many miles tall is Mount Everest?
I don't know.
Do we know? Here, pause that.
No, I do know.
Oh, you do know? What is it?
I'm getting at that. So the part of the Marina Trench, here are a few facts about...
Oh, you did mount you
I did.
It. How funny.
No, I did. So let me go back to this.
Okay.
I'm going to get into that. So it says, I wrote that the first and only time humans have descended to the Challenger Deep, which is, the deepest part of that trench, was more than 50 years ago. In 1960, Jacques Piccard and Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh reached this goal in a U.S. Navy submersible bathyscaphe called the Tristee. Bathyscaphe called the Tristee, which is basically like, I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it's like a sphere. It was like
bathyscaphe.
Yeah. Bathyscaphe.
Yeah, because the PH. The B and F. I'm teaching Max how to read. So I know this one.
You need to teach me how to read. Well, that's a big word for me.
So what they say is just to go a little bit bathyscaphe.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go on. I'm trying to quickly read through this because it's like I have it in my brain, but these are kind of my notes, but I have a lot of notes. But so that was a sphere. It was two in there as a sphere. So, like I said,
it's so crazy that was 50 years ago, though, because
that was the first time.
Okay,
that was the first time. So, that was, like I said, it's located near Guam. The first dive was 1960, and it is roughly 2,146 feet higher than higher than Mount Everest. Inverted, if inverted. So, like, if it was inverted. Yeah. And I did not look up what that is in miles or feet or whatever, but it's 2,146 meters. So everybody else is on... I'm on... Yeah. We don't do meters.
No, we're not metric. We're U.S. standard. So Mount Everest is 5.49, almost 5.5 miles tall. Mm-hmm. So this is deeper than how tall Mount Everest is, because it's 7 miles below water. Mm-hmm. And Mount Everest is 5.5 miles above sea level.
Okay. Yeah.
So all together, if Mount Everest...
2.5 miles bigger.
So if Mount Everest and the deepest part was together and it was just like one big slide, you'd be sliding down for 12 miles.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then to answer your question, or I think it was kind of a question, approximately 22 unmanned and manned descents have occurred since 1960.
Oh, good.
There's as of 2022. Okay. So I don't know if anything has changed since then, but there was approximately 22 that I saw. There could be more that were done that are not online, but I counted, there was 22 that I found.
Okay.
So, because of all of that information about the ocean, we get deeply into USOs because we don't know what the fuck is in the ocean. Yeah. It could be anything in there.
Yeah.
And people have seen lights. People have seen crafts coming in and out of the water. That's why we're talking about this. So, specifically, California has been a hot spot of just UFOs in general, with many reports of crafts specifically in LA, San Diego, and over the desert regions, all the way up to Northern California and up to Oregon. I mean, they're all over the world, but for some reason, this coastline is heavily known for having a lot of UFOs. So, with that being said, an oval-shaped structure was located 2,000 feet below sea level. It was massive. It was roughly found 6 miles off the coast of Malibu, and the structure does not appear to be natural or organic at all. It has a cave opening or some kind of opening. It's with a flat top. And it's described of having like precision formations, almost like laser cut, or like it's not like rocky where it looks like it could be just some kind of a landslide or a cave. It's like it looks like it is artificially man-made, possibly.
Do you think that it could be like a lost civilization?
That's
you know what I mean? Like a lost city from thousands and millions of years ago?
It could very well be that. That's what scientists, private explorations, government, everyone has actually been looking into this. There was even a show with I want to say Rob Lowe, but I might be wrong, who actually did an investigation on this exact structure, and it was like on the History Channel or Discovery Channel or something years ago. Oh. So it has been talked about a lot, but honestly, we don't know still what it is. Yeah. But the structure of is approximately 3 miles wide, just the opening, with pillars, multiple pillars spaced evenly out, almost like to hold up the top, the opening. And then it is, people were saying, like you said, it could be made by ancient man, present day man. It could, some people are saying that it actually isn't military, navy, that it's of alien, unknown species, of something that's living in our ocean, not of a space, but rather of an advanced underwater civilization that is yet to be discovered by modern day researchers and explorers, because we cannot get to them.
Maybe they can't get to us.
Well, they can get to us.
Maybe we're their space. Maybe we're the aliens to them. Mind blown.
We could be. They can definitely get to us because they have the USOs. So they can get to us.
But we have the rocket ships and we can't get to the space.
But they have been seen flying out of the water.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So they can definitely get to us.
Maybe they don't know because we've been seen to fly out of our space and into space and into the moon and shit.
But their crafts can go into space. Like, they can go...
They can leave here and go.
They can go anywhere.
Okay.
They're
go on.
more advanced.
Fine.
They can go anywhere they want, okay? So... the structure can be viewed by Google Earth and has been scrutinized by many, including one of my favorite ufologist channels, Secure Team 10. Tyler, who runs that, has been running that for years, and he has a lot of really good info. But he has actually posted, and I say that as a source because I did see one of the images that he posted on his YouTube channel as one of my sources of just to describe what it looked like. I saw with my eyes, like the way the pillars, and that was me writing what I saw.
Yeah.
The video has images posted showing the exact location, degrees, and everything, the size and angles and everything of the architecture. And there have been numerous anomalies that have been seen in the bottom of the ocean floor via Google Earth as well.
Cool.
There have been unexplained lines on the seafloor for miles in length, hundreds of feet wide. And then when you zoom in, it appears to be a disc partially like in the sea floor that almost looks like what's behind them is a trail, like maybe it crashed and it slid for miles, like a crash landing. Yeah. It's not it doesn't appear to be a ship. They're like spheres.
Wow, to be like, that in the ocean, because you would think the ocean would slow it down dramatically, and how fast was it going to make that kind of trail?
That's the thing. One could guess that these are USOs which crashed into the sea with such a force it slid. So why would the force be so much? Right? Like you said.
Yeah.
So not only can we see from Google Earth, which is obviously going to spark like our interest, and all over the world is going to spark everybody's interest because you see strange lights in oceans, lakes. Witnesses have seen spheres of light that have been unexplainable. They shoot out of the water up into the airspace, up into the clouds for seconds, and they float around, they zoom out. I mean, it's just your typical like UFO sighting, but the difference with these is it's the opposite,
water-based,
where they'll go down into the water in a matter of seconds, and then they're just gone, they just disappear. So there's a couple eyewitness reports, like you had said Hawaii.
Yeah.
Well, I have one coming out of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So one eyewitness report took place in the Pacific Ocean in 1966 near Pearl Harbor. The report states unusual events seen by the USS Tiru SS-416, which is a U.S. Navy submarine. The submarine was en route to Seattle, Washington to start some torpedo exercises. So they had, like, this was like a heavily armed, like it was a working craft. It was leaving Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, and the Navy's personnel, who was primarily like the lookout, was doing their job looking out, reported 2 miles ahead of them there was an unknown object in the sky. And the radar station started to track them, and it started like kind of going crazy, and they're like, what is this? And there was a specific crew member named Jim Spicer.
Yeah,
Spicer. And this is his account of what he reported to the actual crew. So to the I guess it would be the captain, who then reported it to the Navy. So as the crew began to advance towards the UFO, 3 of the crew looked in their binoculars or their telescopes, and are they called telescopes?
Yeah.
Things that come out of the, yeah. And he saw a large metal craft, larger than a football field. So as they watched it in the clouds, they tracked it, and it flew into the ocean at a very great speed, as if it was noticed and it was trying to like get out of sight. And then as it flew into the water, a massive geyser rose out of the water. So it was like for miles, it was like this huge geyser of water that came up after. So it was like very forceful. They were all speechless, of course. And to their amazement, it really didn't disappear for very long, as it flew back out of the water, closer to them this time. And it flew high into the atmosphere. Within a matter of seconds, it was lost in the clouds. At this point in time, the radar machines were just going even more wild, and the sonar was reporting strange echoing, most likely from the force of the craft in and out of the water, like it echoing and pushing the water out. It's causing, the waves, the sound waves, or the whatever the sonar picks up. Not long after that, the crew thought like they've never seen anything like that, and then it came from the clouds again. With the crew and captain looking, it did this an additional 2 times. So like would go down, go up, go down, and it multiple times. So they were all freaked out because they had never seen anything like this, and they didn't know what to think of it. And then after some time passed, it wasn't seen by them again, but the radar also like lost track of them, and the captain told like the entire crew to never speak of this again to anyone. It was classified information, and it wasn't spoken of for like many, many years. Like this came out way later because this was 1966.
Why don't they want people to know? Like, who cares?
I mean, they don't want people to know because of the hysteria. Because remember before, there was a whole war hysteria, and they didn't want people to know because of World War II. And then also remember, Pearl Harbor got bombed.
Yeah.
So like they don't want anyone to like be alerted or alarmed.
Yeah, that's true.
The craft was reportedly described as metal with some type of machinery on it and around it, but they could not explain it. It also did appear to have some kind of lens around its perimeter, almost like a panoramic window. So it was
cool.
Yeah, it was completely silent. It made no even though it was like other than obviously when it crashed into the water made a sound, but it made no sounds of its own. And it did not interfere with any of the submarine's electrical systems or affect the gyro compass that it uses to navigate. So it didn't mess with any of their navigational, systems. It appeared to be more of a ship rather than a plane, meaning when they described it, it was like a saucer with an inverted bowl, and it did not appear to be hostile. It was rather more curious of them as it passed by numerous times, Or possibly just going about his business, maybe transporting something from the sea to the air or vice versa. No one could really know or understand, but it just was there, and it obviously it wasn't afraid of them or anything. It just was going about its business, almost like taunting them, like, hey, like, we're here, like, what are you gonna do? Like, you know.
Yeah.
And then they didn't speak of it. That was it.
That's crazy.
It's really crazy. And then so they made their way to Seattle, and then they did their what they were gonna do was their torpedo, what's it called? Torpedo exercises. And, whatever they needed to do, they just went about their mission and just kept it to themselves.
That's crazy.
There was a similar report.
I would be like, oh my God. I'd be calling people. I would be like,
well, they can't. They can't. It's classified. Like,
I would be sentenced to death. I'd be kicked off the boat, the submarine.
Like, the captain has...
I'd be like, I don't know what happened to her. Sorry.
The captain has to, like, put it in their report and everything, and they have to do, like, a report, and then everybody's, like, basically silenced after that. And then it goes to, like, the higher up, whoever there, and then probably the president, or who knows.
I wonder how many people have seen shit, and if they all got together, we could, like, figure out the world's secrets, all of them.
Well, yeah, but everything is classified, so until more things are disclosed, we can't really... Yeah, we won't really know, but... I mean, there was a similar report of a USO that was seen again by the U.S. Navy off the coast of San Diego.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's really close to home.
So this encounter was actually pretty recent. It was videotaped by the U.S. Navy on July in 2019.
Ooh.
So the footage was taken by a crew member of the USS Omaha, which shows a spherical a sphere UFO.
A circle UFO.
I'm like laughing, but I'm like coughing at the same time. It's really weird. UFO entering the ocean. It was seen flying over the U.S. Omaha, and it descended into the water, making a huge splash, just like the one before did. And the crew member filming, you can hear, and this is on YouTube, you can watch it. It actually was released by the Navy. And the crew member is saying, wow, it splashed. Like, whoa, look at that, And it's reported that this particular area off the coast of San Diego has had hundreds of other sightings. Wow. Navy personnel conclude this area has many underwater
anomalies,
which seem to defy physics. So the U.S. Navy had officially confirmed, this goes to about what you were saying about under the water with the speed. They had confirmed, based on like the footage and everything was authenticated, it was unexplained, the objects in the water had been tracked via sonar with speeds of hundreds of knots deep under the water.
Wow.
1 knot is roughly 1.15 miles per hour. And submarines only travel, the fastest submarines, only travel 23 miles per hour. So the idea of a USO traveling 100 to 200 knots is unimaginable. You're talking like 200 miles an hour underneath the water.
Yeah, that's like, that'd be like a plane, but underwater.
Yeah. And
so planes even go faster than that, but you know what I mean.
I mean, in comparison. So when you're talking about... you don't
glide through the water, you glide through the air.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you're talking about like the disc that crashed, and then it's like, well, how fast?
How fast? Like,
I mean, they tracked him going 200, and that could, who knows if that's even their max speed.
Yeah, if it crashed, it must have been going really fast, and then for it to leave miles of trails, that's insane. And they can't get down to that disc; it's too far down.
They can't get down to it, no.
But we can see it on Google Maps.
You can see it on Google Maps, and I can source it and put, like, we can put a link or whatever so people can look at it and what we're talking about. Like, you can see it.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that we could see so deep.
We can see it, but the thing too, it's like, I don't know how reliable Google Earth is, like, of how, you know what I mean? I don't know, but you can see it. What it is, we don't know. I mean, we could eventually get the technology and go down there and be like,
that's just crazy that we could see
it's a sea snake, or I don't know, not a sea snake, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, whatever it could be, or something that's just like a natural, like, phenomenon.
Coral type reef or something.
Who knows? Weird. I don't know. But it's just interesting to think about it.
It's interesting, well, that a camera can see that deep, because, like, oh, the water ain't that clear. Like,
we can see all the way to freaking other galaxies.
Yeah, but that's through space, not in the water with Google cameras.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, they can see a lot of detail.
Dude, when you go over my house, the trees get blurry. Mm-hmm. All the eucalyptus trees get all blurry. You can't, like, zoom into it at all. If you try to, it just goes blurry.
Yeah, and
I think it's crazy.
While we're on the subject of ocean, did you hear about, just because we're talking about it, unrelated to this, did you hear about the giant plume of seaweed that's floating?
Yeah.
It's like as big as the United States.
Yeah, I guess that it happens every year, but it's just has never been this massive.
I mean, it's the biggest United States.
Yeah, and it's on the Atlantic Ocean, so we're good.
It's as big as the United States.
I know, it's huge.
I can't handle if one little piece, like...
Oh, no, that's why I don't go in the ocean.
Like...
I don't even like to go stand on the beach because of all the seaweed. Like...
Can you imagine what could be hiding in there?
Yeah, nope. Dude, Brad has... When me and Brad were in Hawaii, you know how I say I don't swim good?
Yeah.
A piece of
I saw the example of your swimming right now.
we were in Hawaii where we were, well, I guess all of Hawaii, you can really see everything. So
yeah,
you look down and you
clear.
can see everything.
That's
so I'm
good.
like, okay, cool. And it's all pretty, the corals and everything. But then I had read that corals at night, they like open up and that's how they eat. Right? So I'm like, wait, are there like billions of teeth on these corals somewhere? And so I'm going, and you can see fish. The fish are huge. They're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Something hit my toe, and we were pretty far out there. And
were you snorkeling?
No, we were just swimming.
Like, just swimming.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
and we're just swimming through the coral and stuff. Mm-hmm. And something hit my foot, and Brad said that I swam so fast back to shore so quickly. It was like a cartoon. And he tried to stop me, but I swam by him so quick, and he couldn't stop me, and I didn't stop until I got to the shore, and I was like, I'm done.
You're like, okay, bye.
This was day 2 of being in Hawaii. I'm like, I'm done with the ocean. We're good. I did go back in the ocean at some point, but yeah. He said it was like a cartoon, the cartoon.
I can totally imagine it. I can see it happening for sure.
And I was like, something hit my foot. And they think it's probably a coral, but...
Yeah.
Fuck that. They have teeth or something.
I don't think they have teeth. They have, like, spores that open and they get, like, plankton or something.
Yeah, well, I didn't want it to eat me, so...
I would be more worried if I saw a shark than coral.
Well, the sharks, so in Hawaii, they have all the coral and everything in, like, the beach that I was at. And then there is a sandbar thing, but it's not a sandbar, it's more of like a coral bar.
Yeah.
So the sharks can't even get to you in that particular beach. I was on the big island.
Yeah, okay.
And I think I flew onto Kilo and I was staying in Hana, maybe? I forget now. But anyways, so I was on the big island, and that particular beach ocean area that I was in, it's like protected by I'm sure that they could if they wanted to. I mean, if they really wanted to, but...
Yeah, so you weren't really concerned with any sharks.
I wasn't, no. Yeah. And there was so many more other scary things going on.
Obviously, the coral was enough.
The coral was...
You didn't need to see any sharks.
No, the coral was good enough for me. I didn't need anything else. Okay, well, I think... Do we have anything else to say?
No, that was it. Really,
That's
it's
really
just that
interesting.
it's just the whole conspiracy as to whether...
they exist. And I totally...
could they live under the ocean?
For sure. You know what? I totally believe in anything under the ocean, like caves and whatever else. Totally believe it, because we don't know anything that's under the ocean. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like some sort of world with oxygen under there, like a big oxygen bubble with like pterodactyls and shit living down there. Like maybe that's where the dinosaurs
deep down
went
in a cave.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be surprised by any of it, just because we don't know anything about underneath the ocean. Like that could be where the megalodon shark is, you know?
Oh, no. Well, I saw another thing online that was footage of a megalodon recently, supposedly. And it was swimming next to, I forget the biggest whale in the world, but whatever that whale name is. I don't know. There's multiple whales, but it was like the biggest sperm whale or... Blue whale. It's bigger than an orca.
Blue whale.
Whatever
the
biggest one is. It was like next to it, and people were saying, "Oh, that's CGI." But was it CGI? I don't know. But I definitely saw a giant megalodon-looking shark, and it kind of dwarfed this largest whale.
Yeah,
So,
I totally believe that, like, the ocean is filled with so much mystery that anything is possible down there.
And I also think that it is possible that maybe the extraterrestrials don't even come from space. They're just
already here.
Like, they are just another race or another animal species or just another species that live in the ocean, under the ocean, and they just have more technology. Or in
Antarctica.
Well, that would be under the mountains.
Yeah,
in
center Earth.
But it's not. It is center Earth, but it's technically not. It's only like 2,000 miles under.
Yeah.
So it's not like
Whatever.
center.
It's
but yeah, it's just another. It's just another like a subterranean.
Yeah, subterranean. Yeah, just like that.
So I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. You can actually email us now.
Yes, please email us at conspiraciesunlocked@gmail.com. That's conspiraciesunlocked@gmail.com. And we would love to hear from you. Any UFO stories, any weird happenings. We want to know everything. Tell us what you think, what you love about us, what you hate about us, but we won't like that, so don't do that.
Constructive criticism is always appreciated with kindness.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you. You
and
can
like, share on everywhere. TikTok, YouTube,
Facebook, Spotify,
iHeartRadio,
Apple,
Deezer.
What else?
Samsung.
Just Google us.
We
should pop up.
We're Googleable.
We might pop up if your algorithm is right.
Bye.
Bye.